everyone. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you from wherever you're listening to this. I would just like to say this is the best this episode is going to sound. It is all downhill from here. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty recording our last episode, and our audio woman messed up big time. We have since dealt with her. We've let her go. We only tolerate excellence. I'm totally kidding. The audio woman was I. You can guess which sister this is. So basically the entire episode para kaming nasa loob ng lata. For our foreigner listeners and friends, it is like we are inside a can. All right. That said, we really tried. I'm so sorry about the sound, but hopefully you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the family.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't you usually say like 1, 2, 3?
I don't even
You're like a
notice.
dancer or something.
Shut up.
Did you not notice? 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Now that you pointed it out, that is true. I usually say 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
That's because we dance.
That's how much practice you had.
Welcome back. We are episode, I don't know, 4? Yeah,
4.
Episode 4. Episode 4 of the second season. And I was uploading the previous episodes, and I was looking at our videos on YouTube, and I was so proud. I was like, look, there's like 1, 2, 3. I was like counting our episodes.
Don't we have like 13 or something?
I don't know, but it's more than 5, so I'm just very happy.
Yeah, consistency, babe, is key. Don't you know you shouldn't quit?
Mm-hmm.
Don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
You have to push through. You have to fight for the things you want.
I am actually, because we just posted, right, the first one of the year, and then I was like, what, we have to record again?
Mhm.
So for those of you listening, people ask me all the time, they're like, how do you record your episodes? And we cannot do like 3 episodes in one day. We
Yeah.
can't do those things because one, we're yapping and they're so long. The episodes are so long. It'll be impossible to edit. And also our brains are just done after one
After
episode.
one episode,
Yeah,
I'm
because-
like mentally fried.
I mean, because there are some heavy topics and then some are really
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, they're just lengthy.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like a 1 episode a day kind of thing. Who knows later on if we'll do like shorter 20-minute.
If that's something
Episodes.
you want,
But a lot of the people that have messaged me about our podcast,
they say bitin, di ba? Like an hour? Bitin pa kayo sa 1 hour? Di ko gets. Like, what are you doing? Like,
no, I mean, no, I think we're in the background kasi.
I understand.
So
but
if you're getting tasks
Yeah,
done,
I
if you're
guess,
studying 1 hour, edi, that's how long did you used to study, Nico? What did your study habits look like?
they were pretty erratic. Why? What did yours look like?
I had great study habits.
Did you really?
I did.
I was great in college-ish.
Yeah. I had no, like I would study in high school. There were just
weren't
subjects.
very good.
No, there was no. I always had study habits down. I just had bad, like certain subjects that were just hopeless because that's
Yeah.
just not how my brain was wired. But it doesn't mean I didn't study for them.
I studied naman in high school. Like, I did study. I was just very bad academically in high school.
I think that wasn't your fault though.
It wasn't my fault. I skipped grade 7. But in
And-
college,
No, not just
bumawi
grade 7. I think your whole grade school life was
Yes.
built on a lie.
Exactly. Grabe yung lie, Bea. There was some
I
sort
had-
of foundation there, but
okay,
again,
Okay, fine. There
But-
was, but I feel like your curriculum was, it was quite easy.
it was so kulang.
Because a lot of people that came from that specific school that moved to high school, because that's the school.
We all had a difficult time.
the school we're talking about didn't have a high school, so eventually everybody had to find high schools, and everybody said that they had such a hard time in high school.
Yeah. And so
So I
I
don't think that's your fault.
it's not my fault. I'm actually
You're
intelligent.
so intelligent. No, but do you believe that? Nah. There was at one point because you're so bad at something in school that you believe that you're not smart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
And like
Up until last
and then
year.
up
You're
until
la-
I hit 28.
You're laughing, but For a long time, I felt stupid. This is so not the topic today,
This
but
isn't, but I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
We'll
no.
get
we'll get to the
our
topic.
in a
But yes,
bit. Right.
yeah, we can talk about this another time.
Like, right? You felt stupid. No,
Didn't you at
oh,
one
for
point?
sure.
Yeah.
And then I was an athlete pa. And then I was a student athlete that I didn't get in through the traditional way.
Yeah.
I got in through varsity.
Yeah.
So in UP, a lot of people, I mean, I would say they kind of counted me out. They judged me and stuff. And so it was very satisfying to get the role as courtside reporter,
Yeah.
especially in a course of speech communication, because it's like a role a lot of people were trying out for
Yeah.
in like broadcasting communication and speech comm, and I was just like, yes,
Yeah, well, for
Yeah.
me, it was like vindicating because in high school, everybody called me stupid, right?
yeah.
And I was a performer, so they were like, oh, she's like talented, but she's dumb.
People would say you were dumb.
Yeah, no, like different words pa nga eh. Like tanga, bobo, ganon.
No way.
Yes. And when I got to college, I
You like
wasn't.
you feel it, right, and you make it like a joke.
It's a joke now, but in college, I didn't dance as consistently. Like, I wasn't performing a lot or competing, but I was consistently a Dean's Lister. And so I was like, I am
Yeah.
not stupid, but I still believed I was.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
for some
because
reason.
in college I had such high grades.
Yeah.
Like I missed.
I was just interested in
I
the topics.
missed cum laude by like 0.2.
No way.
Yeah, I did. Because of like a general subject pa that I knew that if I did well, it's like,
Sayang.
yeah, now that I'm looking back, I should have pushed for it, but I was doing so much. And I was like,
that's
you know what?
fine.
If it's 1.77, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So and I'm really okay. Like I'm not
It's not like it
I'm not
matters
hung up
right
over
now.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
But it sucked when they were calling up all the cum
Of
laudes, and I was
course,
just like,
yeah.
I should have studied for SPAD 10.
Yeah.
What was that voice?
I don't know. Anyway, our topic today,
We'll talk about. I don't even know if that's a topic.
it
but-
is a topic for sure.
okay.
Yeah. For sure. Our topic today pertains to the topic of motivation.
Heavy words. Pertains.
Pertaining to,
yeah.
according to,
Mhm. In my
humble opinion.
according to my calculations.
Okay na nga. So, we're gonna talk about motivation. In what sense,
We
Bea?
are.
In what
In what
sense? Yeah.
What about motivation specifically? What aspect of it?
What about motivation
What are we
inspires you? Okay na.
No, okay. I wanted to ask, what is currently motivating you?
In what
Wait.
aspect nga?
Wait, what is currently motivating? I don't know what's motivating. What is currently motivating you in life
In
right now?
life,
It is
right.
January 2025. What is giving you fire in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
What is igniting your soul?
As someone who's been sleeping 12 hours.
Stop laughing. Stop laughing into the mic.
I'm sorry. What gets me up every morning?
Can you please take this seriously?
Bright and early. At the cusp of dawn.
Uh-huh.
I'm just so excited for this year and all the things that I'm gonna accomplish. Okay, currently I don't know. I mean, like, I think what's motivating me now is I feel like I finally have some sort of a routine.
Mhm.
And I feel like I have finally set up my place. I feel like for a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, I didn't really have a routine because we moved and then we moved again and then I had 2 jobs in 2023 and then only 1 job like full time in 2024. So I feel like there was so much transition that I didn't know how to stay motivated for anything.
Mhm.
And now I just feel like, wow, like I have things to do now.
So you feel like the routine fuels you?
Yes, absolutely. What about you?
I think it's a hard question. Like what
It is a hard
what
question.
currently is motivating? What is currently motivating you? It's so tough, because it's a broad topic. But for me, I can honestly say that we were just having this discussion last night that I'm not a fan of slow days. Like
You
I'm
and me?
trying. Yeah, like over dinner with
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Janina and Ella.
Okay.
Like I'm not a fan of slow days, right? I'm trying to embrace it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be in the moment. I just shared it in the previous episode that that's what I want my year to look like. But personally, am I a fan of the slower day? No, I feel unproductive. I'm kind of like a go 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 kind of girl. But for some reason, I currently feel very steady.
Mm-hmm.
Parang there's nothing not that no, it's not that there's no drive. I'm just steady. And it's very weird for me at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be like gung
Let's
ho.
go.
Yeah, exactly. But what when I was thinking about this topic and I was thinking about what to share, that's when I realized that that's why the habits are so important.
Mhm.
Because even if I don't really have like, so much motivation in the morning, or I'm just kind of going through it day by day, I am on autopilot.
Right.
And I think in moments where you cannot find the motivation, the autopilot can be a good thing
Yeah.
because you're still
Going through
you're
it,
still
yeah.
going through the motions of like your
Yeah.
day and again I'm speaking as a freelancer who's been in freelance for
More-
13 years
yeah,
now.
more than 10 years. Yeah.
And every year, every month, every day
Looks different for you.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and it's crazy to answer the question like, what is currently motivating you? Not a lot. I mean, I know
Yes.
that this sounds
Yeah.
so discouraging, but I don't mean it in a I have no drive for life. It's just
Yeah.
more of like I'm steady. Does that
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right
I
now?
realized, I think what's motivating me now is that I have pushed through my inconsistencies.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because, like, I am such a. Don't say it.
Inconsistent.
Stop it. Don't even. Don't go there. How rude, Rebecca. I'm being honest and vulnerable here. What? Anyway,
Continue.
I again am such a moody person. I was talking about this with my friend Sammy, and stop laughing. a lot of
Inconsistent movie. I'm like
a lot of my decisions are based on emotions, which is
girl.
my food
This is a rough-
choices.
This
Yeah.
is a rough sentence. Like
Yeah.
couple of sentences
Yeah.
for you. Okay.
Like there's not a lot of logic kasi that comes into my decision making process. I'm being honest here. I took the test, the Myers-Briggs test, and I'm like 80% feel.
I need to take this test.
You do.
I haven't.
It's so good.
I think I took it, but like I forgot.
Yeah. I've
Okay.
taken it multiple times. It's always
It's
like
the
that.
same.
Yeah. 75
You're
to
hoping for
80%.
different.
No, it doesn't change. But
Okay.
anyway, what I'm saying is the last few months of 2024, despite the craziness and despite me not knowing what was happening, I feel like I was still able to get up and be like, okay, I just have to do it, no matter what I felt.
Galing.
And that is very difficult for me to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's great. So yeah,
Thank you.
I no, that's a good answer though. That
Tinawanan mo ako.
no, you're I don't know. You know that you're so funny.
Why?
No, you're funny. Like you have like great comedic timing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. No, but that's a good answer. The inconsistent seasons, pushing through that is now
Yeah.
kind of carrying over.
Yeah, so
into the
now
next
I
year.
know I can.
That's good. That's good. I think for me, yeah, I think maybe not the simplest. I think the most obvious topic of motivation that people tie or like they'll tie it with is fitness,
Yes.
right? And it's always asked, how do you stay motivated when it comes to your fitness
This, yeah.
routine?
You had this thing, I don't know when it was, 2019,
18.
2018, where I feel like this is when your following started like growing, right?
Really? I think so.
I think so. where you had this thing and you would tell people on your stories or your post to it was don't forget to work out today. And so
I still say it now.
I know you still say it now, but then I feel like this like started the you are like the fitspo and the
Sure.
you know what I mean? And so that's why people always ask like how do you stay motivated? But yeah, like how did you start that? Or why did you start that? Like
Yeah.
what was the thought behind this?
Let's establish the quick backstory
Yeah.
very, very quickly. So I started playing tennis at a young age. So from 7 to, well, how old are you when you
Whatever.
graduate college? 21,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
There-
for us, other
Yeah,
people are graduating.
Okay,
later
I
now.
think I graduated 21.
Same.
So there was just, tennis most of the
Yeah.
time, right? Whether
Summers.
Yeah, and so 7 to 21, there was just tennis, and obviously, if I was injured, it wasn't moving, but very, very active through everything. As a student athlete, didn't really have a choice. I had to play tennis in the morning, then go to class in the afternoon. And then when I was starting out in radio, I think there was so much burnout from the sport that
Yeah.
I stopped playing tennis, like completely. People
Yeah.
actually asked me how I got rid of my tan line. And I was like, I just hid from the sun
For a really
ever.
long time.
For a
Yeah.
really, really long time. And I just got so pale. I feel like I had a vitamin D deficiency, if I am being so honest.
Yeah.
And I was inside the radio booth. There were no windows, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
now that I'm thinking about it, that's how I got so pale. And so I started working in 2012, and I just I would work out, but I definitely lost that routine because I was required to do it. And I was rejecting it for a bit because I knew that I'm not an athlete anymore. My goals are different. I was building my career. I had different priorities. The hours were weird. So I also was so confused. Like I was on the morning show, then I wasn't, and then radio was in the afternoon, and then I had hosting. Super weird. So one day in 2018, I was on Demand, a show on Magic 89.9 with my partner Boone. And it was around that time where I was taping for Fox Sports and I was doing radio. And I just didn't really have any sort of fitness routine.
Right.
And I was so confused.
Yeah.
Like,
Because you always had one.
I think I could finally face, before I will aminin it. Na,
Yeah.
I'm a former athlete, but if you're not active, you will lose your strength and your cardiovascular strength, everything,
Yes.
your muscle strength. And so I finally looked in the mirror and I was unhappy. I don't think I was big at all. At the time, obviously, there are other issues which we discussed in the weight
Yeah.
episode, but I did feel fat. And I
Yeah.
was just going to say it. Now that I look back, I wasn't at all.
No.
But it was not just an aesthetic thing. It was like a physical feeling. I felt unhealthy.
Yeah.
I felt unhealthy at the age of 26, or I don't know
Yeah.
how old I was. And I was just like, that's it. If I could do it in college, like that was my mindset. If I could do it back then, where I was literally playing tennis for 3 hours, doing conditioning after class, and then going to games on the weekend. Like I was just imagining my college schedule and how exhausted I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely you can wake up earlier before work and you can
Like integrate it back into
you can
your
do it.
schedule.
Like
Yeah.
I was just like hyping myself up. So I went to the gym, I booked some random trainer,
Yeah.
and the next morning I signed up for the earliest slot, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And like I don't even know at what point I started, typing don't forget to work out today. But I started doing it over and over again. And so I was so sore. I couldn't walk the second, third day.
Yeah.
Couldn't bend, couldn't get in my car.
Yeah.
Like that's how out of shape I was. And
Mhm.
it was kind of like a reflect. It was not even embarrassing, but it was a little sad that like I really just let go of my fitness routine completely.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, this is important to me, and this is part of who I am. Like I love to move, but somehow I got lost. So I started saying, don't forget to work out today, as a joke to my friends.
Yes.
That were messaging na parang, oh my God, I just woke up. Tapos
Yeah.
ka na mag-workout.
Yes.
Because I was
remember
working
that.
out at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I was working out at 6 in the morning because
Yeah.
my radio show was at 9. And as somebody who takes long to get ready, I needed like 7 to 8:30, and it was near down the man. So
Yeah.
I still wanted a semblance of a slow morning. So I would work out in my building for an hour, and that was it. And you know what? It just stopped.
Never stopped.
I never looked back. So
Yeah.
2018 up until now, I've had a pretty
Solid.
consistent and solid workout routine, and I think it was really a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, for me, when people talk to me about this, or how do you stay motivated, how do you stay consistent, I understand that I had the background of a student athlete, and there's
Yeah.
still
And also you're freelance.
yes, I'm freelance
So
for
the
sure. So
time
the
is
schedule
different.
is different.
Yeah.
And so I understand that there's definitely doing something over and over again as a kid, will teach you something.
The discipline is
Yeah.
there.
It's for sure. I don't think it's a problem. If I don't feel like working out, I will still get up and do it.
Yeah.
Obviously if I'm feeling sick, diba, parang hindi ko na siya gagawin. But I always tell people that you can definitely build a new routine.
Yeah.
And now, as a mom, as somebody who has gone through fitness in the postpartum sense, I have a different perspective of it, but I still believe
Yeah.
that you can fight for that routine.
Yes.
And it's about having the right mindset.
Yeah.
So for me, it's consistency is key, but consistency doesn't have to be every day.
Yeah.
Consistency just has to look like
What's sustainable for you?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you work with in that season?
Yeah.
And just keep doing it.
Like if you can work out 2 times a week.
That's fine.
That's
That's
great.
consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. If right now, if all you can do is Sunday morning walks with your family, that's consistent.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're gonna be able to find time to do that. So I don't know. That's basically how it started.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to talk to you about that because you have had also inactive seasons.
Yes.
Fitness wise.
Yes, I
So
have.
how did you come into the mindset of consistency and staying there?
Okay. Well, for me, again, I have been dancing. I started dancing at the age of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped dancing competitively, quote unquote, at 16, 17. And then in college, I would take summer classes. It was still part of my routine. And I would still work out in college, even if I didn't have dance practice or dance class anymore. I mean, as often. I would box, I would do cardio or whatever. But after college, I was really I don't want to move. And, this was also part, the decline of my mental health. I didn't want to move, and I feel like from 2017 till about 2019, I didn't really have a routine, a fitness routine. Every now and then I would go to the gym and I'd run a little bit, or I would cycle or whatever, but it wasn't consistent at all. And then in 2019, when I had my break in New York and I started walking a lot, I felt like I enjoyed activity a little bit more. But then the pandemic hit. And then something in the pandemic, I think there was a mindset shift for me in the pandemic. And I realized that I would work out to lose weight.
Mm.
And the reason why I would be inconsistent in those years where I was declining mentally was because every time I wanted to work out, it was because I wanted to lose weight.
Mm.
And so if I didn't lose weight, I would stop working out.
Mm.
And so Ella actually really helped me with this too, because she was just like, you know what? Why don't we just work on your strength? And so what I started doing was, this is my strength journey. So from 2021 till about 2023, I was very consistent. I was lifting, I was running, and also it was the pandemic, so we had a lot of time. Then when 2023 hit, mid 2023, I was like, I don't know how to integrate it back into my routine, because now I have a job, now I have my own place to clean and whatever, and I was just like, I don't want to work out. I don't want to move. And mid last year, when you're at the point where, in 2018 for you, where you were like, I don't feel healthy.
Mm.
That was me in May, June last year, where I was like, I am so lethargic. I have no energy in the day.
Yeah.
I could barely get through the day, and like,
I remember this season. I was telling her to get a checkup.
yeah, and she was just like, do you want to move? And I'd be like, no. And it was just like this endless cycle of like just me being lethargic. Like, I would get up, I was tired. I would, go through the day tired. I would sleep tired because I wasn't moving. And I think I just told Ella, I was just like, I think I just have to get to the point where I have to get up in the morning because, again, I work out based on how I feel, right? I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm just going to do it. And since I think June or July of August last year, I have been pretty consistent, which is why I was so surprised because I didn't feel like working out every day, obviously. Like, actually, most days I don't really feel like working out until I'm actually moving already. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I'm so glad I did that for myself today. And so now I think it's really just like making the time in the day where it's just like, this is my block time. It's not allowed to be moved. And yeah.
I think it's important to know when you feel the best when it comes to working out. Are you a morning person or can you?
I am not technically a morning person.
Mhm.
But the reason why I like doing it in the morning now is because it's done.
Yes.
Because if I have it in the afternoon, I probably won't do it anymore.
My husband will never wake up for an
Exactly.
early
There
workout.
are other
There
people,
are people
yeah.
that just don't find this enjoyable. They'd rather sleep.
Yeah.
They don't like the quiet mornings. They would rather be asleep.
Yeah.
And I didn't used to understand that, but I'm married to a man that just loves to
Loves
sleep
to
in.
sleep in, yeah.
And so he prefers late night walks or
Yes.
bikes or biking.
Yeah.
And so everybody is different, and I think that's very, very important that you know that about yourself. You have to discover, I think for me, the discovery of not liking workout
Yeah.
classes. And I kind of linked this to me being a tennis player.
Yeah.
Because I am alone on
Yes,
the tennis
on the
court.
court.
And I even adjusted when I had to join a varsity team with like 10 other girls. It was just like, what do you mean we have to run together? Like, this is too much for me. There's too many women. But in the workout sense, in a class, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy being in a room full of people like working out. And I know
Yeah.
other people love that.
Yeah.
So this is how do I stay consistent? I don't do things that I don't like to
Enjoy.
do.
Yeah.
So
I enjoy working
Topper
out by myself.
Fabregas, our
Beloved cousin.
our cousin who does like one of the best like saddle row instructors. Everybody tells us his class is so good. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
It's so hard.
It's such a great workout. I've been to it once.
Yeah. Me too once.
Kat
And-
Salao, shout out, one of my bestest friends. She has been a ride rev
Yeah.
instructor for I think 8 years now.
Yeah.
I've been to her class once.
Okay.
Okay, all
That's
my best friends, Billy Capistrano, also a great, super fit, great
Yes.
friend. I've been to her class once, so I will go to your class if you're my
To
friend
support.
to support once, but I will not do that
Yeah.
again because again I
It's not
don't
something you
enjoy it.
enjoy,
Hindi
yeah.
ko talaga siya gusto.
But another thing that helped me last year
But
because
walking with you girls is fun. It's not really a workout. It's like we're spending time together.
yeah, we're like strolling, you know what I mean? But another thing that helped me, so Ella works with Migs Aitona Performance, and he told me last year, because I was telling him, I am inconsistent with my food because again, I will repeat myself, I eat based on my feelings. Like, if I don't feel like eating that, I won't eat it. And okay, don't comment. And so he was telling me, if you eat bad, let's say you binge one day, right? You eat bad one day, then just do better the next day. And I said, it's not as simple as that. And then he was like, but it is. You just reset again the next day. You get back in the gym and it's fine. Like, stop beating yourself up for that one
For
day.
yesterday.
Yeah. Because that's how, for me, I told him, that's how I really get derailed. I'll feel bad for one day and then I just don't want to do it anymore. And then he was like, no, that is like so counterproductive. Let's say you don't work out for a few days, then just get back. And I know it's so simple. It's really so simple. And he was really looking at me like, come on,
He's
girl.
also like a fitness coach who's super fit. And
Yes,
very
yes, he is
athletic and talented.
SNC coach and everything. But he was
Of
looking,
LaSalle and Phoenix.
but he was looking at me like, this is common sense, and you just have to suck it up, and you just have to do it.
Mm.
And honestly, it's exactly what I needed to hear at that moment in time, and I haven't stopped. Of course, Ella has helped me because she's like, when are you working out?
I want to add to that, and I hope this isn't taken. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I gave birth emergency CS, and
Yeah.
my recovery was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I had to find grace for myself when it came to. My problem before was I used to work out 6 times a week, and then when I gave birth, I couldn't anymore.
Right.
So even if I was moving like twice a week, I was like, this isn't enough.
Yeah.
Well, how do
This
I
is
get?
not what
Yeah.
my body is usually used
How do I
to.
get to 5 times a week
Yeah.
or whatever? So I had to deal with that, but that's a separate thing. But I definitely think that sometimes it is as simple as you gotta get up and you gotta get it done.
Yeah.
And it's not to discount how you're feeling. It's not to not that your feelings are not valid, not that you're not tired, but for me, when it comes to building that habit with movement, you just have to
You just
do
have
it.
to do it. Yeah.
There is no other there's no
work around it.
there's no work around it.
Yeah.
And the way that you build that habit is you don't go 100%
All out and like,
immediately.
Yeah.
You build slowly.
Yeah.
But build slowly, but you still have to get it done,
Yeah.
right? So if it looks like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But you need to stretch. You need to walk. You
Yeah.
need to do your Pilates class. That's for me, and I think that's really worked. Obviously, again, in the season of, because I know a lot of mothers listen,
Yeah.
and a lot of mothers are probably like, maybe you're at home with your child and it's very, very hard to move.
Yeah.
I know how that feels. But what that looked like for me then was
You would work out at home.
I would work out next to the crib while he
Yeah.
would be asleep, and it would honestly be 15 minutes, and then he would wake up,
Yeah.
or depending on how old he was, 15 to 20 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes, and I just would have to get it done. And there is something about being strict with yourself. Now, this is something that I always share to my friends that talk to me about fitness. Okay, here's an example that I posted a lot on my Instagram stories. When you tell your friends you're gonna show up for coffee, you show up for coffee, right? Or you're gonna, I don't know, you're going to have lunch together. But when you keep telling yourself that, okay, I'm gonna work out tomorrow, and you don't do it, it can come to a point where you don't believe yourself anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very important that if your word is sure to your friends and you're accountable,
It should be the same
it
for
should be
yourself.
the same for yourself.
Yeah,
Does that
that's
make
so
sense?
true.
That's how I looked at it.
I have never viewed it that way.
That's how it's like, if you say, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna work out, I'm finally gonna start, and then you're just like, oh, tomorrow na lang,
Yeah.
oh, tomorrow na lang, and you keep putting it off. It's you yourself, you're contradicting yourself. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't do that to other people.
That's true.
Like if you said, okay, I'm gonna be there for you, we're gonna meet each other at 6 p.m. Like you'll show up for that person because
Right.
that person is expecting you to show up.
Yeah, like
So
they
you-
blocked off time.
Yes. You need to be that way with your word. You need to take your word so right.
Yeah.
You need to take it so seriously.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's your inner voice. It's
Yeah.
your inner self.
This is very insightful. I will keep this.
That's how I keep myself motivated, because I told myself the other day that I'm gonna, okay, like I told myself this morning that I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to honor that
Yes.
word that I said to myself, and I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless, of course, you fall ill, or you know,
Yeah.
or you have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But if you have the time, if you're like sitting there and you have the time to do it, just go ahead and get that workout done.
Yeah. I feel like for somebody that again is perpetually inconsistent, I'm trying to change that, obviously. What I used to do all the time was when I would stop, I would be like, oh, I'm restarting. Remember that
Yeah.
time? Remember that time where I was like restarting my program, restarting.
Actually, I told
They had this like inside joke at home. They're like, oh, she's restarting again. And honestly, it would be so discouraging for me. And then I would stop again, and then I would quote unquote restart.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell myself I'm continuing.
Continuing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue it. Stop it.
Yeah, because she was like day one.
Day one. Ang dami kong day one.
And that's okay though.
Yeah.
You can have
But
a lot
still.
of day ones, but you have to. For me, I think it's also like you gotta change the phrasing
Yeah,
at one point
it's
in
really,
your mind.
I think it's really
You have
your
to-
mindset.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also having to tell myself that I want to build the habits I want for my future now. Because if you don't build it now, it's so much harder to build it when we're older. Like the reason why our parents have this workout routine at 60 is because they have been working out consistently no matter their schedule. And my dad, 9 to 5, my mom 9 to 5, like they made time with 5 children.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they just did it.
Yeah.
If they had to wake up, like if mom has to wake up at 5 a.m. to get on the bike for, she does it. You know what I mean?
Look at her. And I think that's a good example also for the young parents that we need to also display. We need to display healthy lifestyles
For your
our
children.
children to see it because they're watching.
Yeah,
So
they are watching.
They are watching. So aware of that. Sometimes it
Or
really
it just looks so different.
it looks different.
like if
talaga.
it's 10 minutes of your day, then that's it. That's
And
fine.
Totoo talaga, hindi talaga lahat makakapunta sa gym,
Yeah.
hindi talaga lahat makakalakad sa labas or whatever. But again, it can be done in whatever shape or form, whether it has to be at home, whether it's in your garage, whether, it's in your bedroom. When I gave birth to Tyler, I started working out probably like 12 weeks postpartum. 9 weeks, I started stretching.
Yes.
And stretching is, a loose term because that was really like, I couldn't really do much. I was
Yeah.
really just trying to touch my toes and stuff. But like 12 weeks postpartum, I started stretching and doing gentle stretches. And that was 30 minutes. And that was my workout.
Yeah.
I hated it. I didn't feel like I was doing anything.
Doing anything.
I didn't feel like it was accomplishing anything. I was doing breathing exercises, all those recovery exercises. But when I look back, that was also my habit playing a part and, in a different form.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping up and down. I'm not doing burpees. I'm
Yeah.
not doing push-ups, but I'm still moving my body.
Yeah.
So I'm on the other side of things now because before I was just like, if it
It's intense or nothing.
before I was that girl that like if it matters to you, you're just gonna make time and that's it. But yeah, and I think I've triggered a lot of my friends too, like even you or like my best friends, because like I was like my friends don't even get motivated by me because like I'm just always moving. So parang it came to a point that parang, oh, that's just her. She's just like crazy about working out.
Yeah.
But I think after I gave birth, there was a humbling experience of really understanding that there are situations that it's just you can't get to the gym.
Yeah.
So there, I think I want to really be very specific with that and say that you will be able to build it. And if you are accountable to yourself, if you hold your own words true and very sacred,
Yeah.
I think you're going to be able to build.
Yeah.
Last year, I started incorporating cute little walks.
Oh yeah.
So
I love walking.
I love walking. I didn't used to. I used to think that it was not a real workout. But
Yeah.
no, I really, because I was so intense, guys. Like, hindi nyo ba nagigets? Intense akong tao. Like, I was just so...
Yeah, it was always all or nothing.
Like,
Intense
50
workout.
push-ups, and I don't know, man. Like, honestly, it was... I mean, maybe it was motivating for some people at the time. But when I look back at myself, and I was like,
She, like, you don't know her.
I don't know her. Because she's too much.
I don't recognize
Yeah,
her.
she's too much for me. She's obsessed. There, I think that's what it is. I started incorporating cute little walks. Strength training is very important because I have back problems from tennis, and as a mom, you're always like bending over or picking up your child. Although Tyler's huge. I need to stop carrying that baby. But strength training really is what sustains me, and I think that's the most sustainable workout that you need to start doing.
Yeah.
I don't like giving advice.
Yes,
But
no.
this is
this is something we will give.
We will give.
Yes.
Like, you need to start lifting weights. It is
Yes.
so good for you.
Or just anything that will build muscle.
Yeah, lift weights.
Okay, lift. No,
Yeah.
it can be body weight workouts,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
like plyometrics and stuff like that. But build muscle. It's good for you when you're older.
Yeah. So lifting weights is super important, and then I will do Pilates. Like, once every 6 months
Long.
when I remember.
Once a quarter.
Once a quarter.
Yeah.
No, because it's so hard because you have to schedule that.
Yes, yeah.
But and I also play tennis. Well, I just recovered from an injury, but that's really pretty much what it looks like. I think I work out now around 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So if I'll have 2 days of walks and cardio, and that's usually like an hour,
Yeah.
and then 2 days of strength. And then if I'm feeling, I don't know, if I have extra energy on the weekends, I'll walk
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But usually, hindi na. Like, I really try to keep it like because the rest of the week, I'm active.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what I wanted to say earlier, now that I remember, is that I think to stay motivated, I really think you have to shift your perspective on how you see fitness. If you are looking at fitness as a way to punish yourself for what you ate, or yeah, or like you because you don't like the way your body looks like, it's gonna be very hard to stay motivated. But if you're looking at it in a sense where, again, it's like for longevity, to be healthy in the long run, to build just better habits, it will be part of your day. And I think that's
it's
what
part of self love.
it is, part of self love.
It's the biggest part of
Yes,
self love.
yeah, like you're taking care of yourself.
Working out is treating yourself.
Yes,
It's treating your future self.
It's treating yourself and not torturing yourself. Anyway, my current routine looks like right now. I lift weights at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
But I think right now I'm doing 4. This year I'm hoping to dance more
Okay.
as like my cardio. There are times where I do love my long walks, like when I go home to mom and dad's house, or like on Sundays. I really love to walk. You don't understand. Like I can walk like 12 kilometers and be super happy. I run very, very short distances, like 3 to 5K.
I don't even like to run.
Yeah, she doesn't like to run, but
so
I'm okay with it.
that's
You know
an
what I
example
mean?
of like, if you don't like it, it's okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of like what my workout routine looks like these days. But the lifting weights is consistent for at least 3 times a week. That's like my goal, and that has been kind of what it was like for me last year, for the last half at least.
And I think I want to end with don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate
Yeah,
it.
don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, I know that the gym can be overwhelming. I am a big gym girl. Like, I love an empty gym. I am not intimidated by squat racks or whatever. I do get sometimes when you enter and it's like there's so many people, you just like, I just want to go.
Yeah,
But for me, what I do when it's like a full gym, I'll just find a corner and
Yeah.
I'll just start to stretch and start to
and
move.
honestly, nobody really cares.
Nobody cares.
Everybody's in their own world.
True. A good warm up will also allow you to get a good workout.
That's
in.
true.
So if you really like search mobility exercises, really just stretching and getting yourself warmed up, that's really gonna help. But yeah, I really I'm rooting for you.
I'm
Like,
rooting
if you're
for you
listening,
all.
if you're listening, I am super rooting for you. Fitness is something that means so much to us. Because I think it's been a form of therapy for me.
Yeah,
Kasi
definitely.
as somebody who has had, PCOS for 10 years,
Yeah,
basically, I didn't want to this is a different topic for a different day, but I didn't want to get on like any hormone
yeah,
pill.
yeah.
And I would just work out. So when I had really like dark days of
Yeah.
like very stressful hormonal imbalance, I would just get myself to the gym.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just so passionate about movement. So I know that if you're listening to this, I love it when people tag us that they're listening when they're running or they're
Yes,
walking.
yeah. I also want to
We're
let you
rooting for
know.
you.
I also want to let you guys know that it does help mental health. Like mentally, it will help you if you are diagnosed with something, and they say movement is
Your
medicine.
doctors told you this.
Yes, my
Yeah.
doctors told me this.
Movement
My
is
mom
medicine.
used to tell me all the time, like you just have to like move a little bit. Like you have to.
Obviously, it's not gonna solve everything.
It's not
but
gonna
it
solve,
helps.
but no, I'm telling you, it helps like so much. Like I have been, again, I know it's different for everybody, but I have been off meds for going to be 4 years this year, and I have been moving, and it's really helped me. It helps with stabilizing your emotions and like releasing the stress in your body. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's really worth integrating into your routine.
I think it's so healthy that we're finally in an era where movement period is celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a couple of years ago it looked a certain way.
Yes.
It just looked like the gym or running or
Yes.
something. But now there's so many versions of movement.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways to move your body. Even like those classes,
Mhm.
those dance classes didn't exist before.
Yeah.
And I know somebody, like one of my closest friends, she just kept dancing as a form of workout before her wedding. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's great. So I think it's a great era to be in. Don't get overwhelmed and just find something that you love
Mm-hmm.
and stick with it and go with it. And yeah, that's her. I guess this is a fitness episode.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. Anyway, guys, you can do it. We believe in you. We wish you well. Goodbye.